When we are healing, we are reclaiming the power that past experiences of conditioning, hardship, tragedy, abuse, and neglect took from us. When power has been taken from us, we are stripped of something called dignity. Dignity is the ability to feel worthy of honor and respect. And whether your dignity was robbed by an abusive situation, whether it was robbed by a neglectful environment, whether it was robbed by you by a family of origin that said one thing and did another, or acted in an unloving way, but then said loving words, and so it was very mixed messages. Whether your power was taken from you by the unexpected loss of the one who represented unconditional love in your life. When power has been taken from us, we are living in pursuit of our own dignity. The dignity that says, I am worthy of honor and respect. And here's how you know if your dignity is missing. Because instead of the natural state being, I am worthy of honor and respect just as I am, not as an egoic form of entitlement or arrogance, but the natural confidence of your soul that says, just as I am, I'm worthy of being honored as the uniqueness of spirit, and I'm worthy of being respected, and I celebrate that by honoring and respecting whoever enters my reality. When you don't have dignity, or when it's been robbed from past experiences, you are under the conditioned impression that you have to do something special and spectacular in this world to earn the honor and respect that you have always deserved. And this is why there's a huge mix-up in the spiritual journey on life purpose, and why a lot of people mix up life purpose with career choices. Because a lot of us have this feeling of, I've got to do something spectacular that positively affects the world, and once the world turns around and gives me a standing ovation, then I'll finally say, I deserve the worthiness and honor that I've worked hard towards. And that seeking of needing to do something to prove that we're worthy is because we're chasing after the dignity we don't hold to be true in our hearts. And so what does it mean to heal? To heal is to reclaim the power of your dignity. When you have dignity, honor, and respect, and you are worthy of it, you do not treat yourself like any particular label. You treat yourself as the uniqueness of spirit and form, and you honor the name this form has been given. When you have dignity on a regular basis, you think differently about what you put into your body. Because it's not just about putting things in any body, it's about being fair to you. And yes, I could eat something that might be delicious and might emotionally soothe me and numb me out for a little bit and give me a little coffee break from my emotional purging. But it's going to be a lot more painful to digest this amount of choice than to enjoy it. Would that be fair to me? One who has dignity starts to think of the choices they're making for themselves like they would for their own beloved. One who has dignity realizes there's two different versions of self-inquiry. There's what you are and there's who you are. What you are is spirit in form, radiating a spectrum of wisdom depending upon your level of awareness, maturity, and integration. That's what you are. Who you are is the wisdom you demonstrate in your choices. And your lifetime is a scrapbook of how much or how little wisdom you're willing to put on display. And when what you are as spirit does not translate into who you are as the nobility of choices, the gap between those two is how far apart you are from the reclaiming of your dignity. And if you don't have the power of your dignity, it's because it was stripped away from you by a past experience. And the healing journey is how we reclaim that. And the more dignity you reclaim in yourself, the more dignity you shine into the hearts of everyone you encounter. The dignity that says, I will not treat another human being as a label. I will give them the name and the respect of the individual name that they've been given. When you walk down the street and you see someone sleeping in a cardboard box, you don't turn away and go, ooh, homeless person, don't make eye contact, they might attack me. No, that's someone's son or daughter that spiraled so deep into hardship that they are now living as a label and they've been stripped of the dignity of their individual name. And we can give that back to them, even just with one moment of eye contact that says hello. You ever looked at someone who has been stripped of their dignity and name and gave them direct eye contact, and there's almost this look of, I don't know if I have the right to receive it. That's how far away from worthiness they are, and you're just helping them return. By giving their history of pain a face. And what most of this world does is it strips others of their face and hides from the pain that people embody by putting a label over them. Oh, other, stranger, someone I haven't liked on Facebook. Someone else's problem. Where's the dignity in that? Because when you honor the face and the name that decorates the hardship and pain in every heart, you are honoring the one within yourself that pervades and expresses itself as all characters. You don't have to get lost and consumed in the pain of all. You just have to show that pain respect by letting that pain have a face and knowing that face has a name and knowing that name has a past and knowing that that past, if heard, will be healed. And maybe you're not the one who's there to listen to that story, to heal the epic saga that transforms their life, but you can, at the very least, take away the label and give back the face and invite the knowing of the name of the one whose dignity has been stripped from them. Whether it was they worked hard at a business and worked for a company and budget cuts came in, and with no explanation, that person no longer has a job that defined them. They had everything. That's destiny calling, by the way. Or someone who had everything and a tragic twist of fate turned their world upside down and they found themselves unable to recover. And then within a blink of an eye, everything was lost. The survivor of that tragedy has a name, and that name belongs to a face. And that face can be seen as your own if you look deeply into it. And when you look deeply into the eyes of another and only find yourself, you have taken the moment to give someone back the dignity that something in their past took away. And that's what it means to be an anchor of the light. As anchors of light, we are the restorers of dignity. And we are restoring the dignity in the world as a way of reclaiming the power of our own dignity and embodying the respect of spirit and form. And in honor of amplifying dignity and respect, let me clarify some old teachings that I think require some clarification. Because when I look at the spiritual journey, I have respect for all teachings. I'm just very clear on what is very much outdated and what is still valid. Everything's helpful at a certain point, and we're at a point in history where there are some teachings that are very helpful and some that are not very helpful. In the old model, there was this misunderstanding about low and high vibration. And here's the litmus test. If you ever want to know how to measure the value of a teaching, do you know what you measure when you measure the effectiveness of the teaching? You measure the level of dignity in the teaching. Is this teaching going to teach me how to respect others more? Or is it going to help me develop more superstitions? If I develop more superstitions, I'm anchoring fear and projecting my dignity further away from me. Remember, dignity is being worthy of honor and respect. So I look at teachings of what is it honor and who does it teach you to respect? And if it's a teaching that lacks honor and lacks respect, it's not valid. So let me give an example. High and low vibration. There's an old misunderstanding that says, none of these bad things would happen to me if I was higher vibrational. You ever hear that one? Who's that honoring? Who's that respecting? Ironically, it's not honoring and respecting the people getting the shit kicked out of them. Because the people who are getting the raw end of the deal are either having their friends say, if your vibration was higher, this wouldn't be happening. Who does that honor? Who does that respect? No one. Or someone who's having all these upheavals goes, God, if my vibration was higher, this wouldn't be happening. Now they're being their own peanut gallery. And it's like they've stepped outside of themselves and are now bullying themselves and judging themselves while being the person who's going through the transformation and adversity. Not helpful. So that understanding of high versus low vibration can't be true because it lacks dignity. So that's the new definition. If a teaching lacks dignity, it can't be true, because truth is always respectful and honoring of all. That's where the rubber hits the road. Here's what high and low vibration really means. To be high vibration doesn't mean you are beyond illness, beyond circumstance. Perfect example. Ramana Maharshi, one of the most enlightened beings who have ever walked this planet, who brought to this earth self-inquiry, the question of who am I? Probably one of the main people responsible for Advaita Vedanta teachings. And the list goes on what this being brought to this planet. And when Ramana's time on this planet was done, Ramana had cancer and left his body. So by the old teachings, Ramana Maharshi must have been this high vibrational being that one morning woke up, ate a big bowl of low vibrational Cocoa Puffs. Holy crap, now Ramana has cancer. And geez, if it wasn't for that low vibration, he'd still be here today. Is that what we think, how this works? Most people don't know how it works, so they assume in the superstitious ways of understanding things. High vibration doesn't mean you don't manifest illness. Just like not all illness is caused by unexplored or unprocessed emotions. Hey, here Ramana Maharshi had cancer? Geez, must not have looked at all that anger. It's not that simple. High vibrational beings are just as susceptible to manifesting what low vibrational beings manifest. The difference is high vibration means you have a greater resilience to integrating the wisdom that any moment is awakening out of you. If you fall, you recover much faster. So high vibration means you heal at record speed. You still fall, but you recover rather quickly. And high vibrational being also means that you're able to embody your worthiness and your dignity through the process of deconstruction and not spiral into unworthiness as a result of unexpected change. So if you're a high vibrational being, you recover fast, you learn quickly, you expand into the new vibration that a moment is bringing to you, and you're able to do it in a rather honorable and dignified way and not crumble into why me. A low vibrational being is just a being who's on the path to becoming high vibrational, and they just have an innocent tendency that when unexpected things happen, they turn inward, not towards themselves, they turn against themselves. And instead of supporting themselves, their inquiry becomes endless judgments and superstitions. And let's run towards the high vibration so I can get the hell away from this haunted house of my life. And low vibrational beings take a long time to heal because they're still learning about resilience. Resilience is the ability to fall and get back up quickly. Do you know what gives you that high vibrational resilience? Dignity. Dignity. The ability to embody self-respect that says anything that happens to me is a gift of my evolution, and even if I'm experiencing characters turning on me, betraying me, hurting me, and damaging me, it is only inviting me to make my next most bold decisions in my life, where life is moving me into a new reality for my own benefit. A low vibrational being is someone who has a tendency to think everything is happening against me or to me, and a high vibrational being says this is happening all for me, even if the way in which people are loving me is rather harsh, critical, and aggressive. Do you feel how much dignity is in that? How much respect and honor is in that? That's how we measure a teaching. How much honor and respect does it give you? In the spiritual path of heart-centered consciousness, we are waking up out of the belief in labels. But not to go from a human label to a spiritual label. That's just more illusion. That's just going from an ego to a spiritual ego. I'm not my family's concept. I'm God's concept. That's just a reframe. What I'm talking about is waking up out of a label, reclaiming the dignity that your past seemed to have taken from you, cleaning off the damage imposed upon the name given at birth, and making that name God's newest nickname, God's newest emoji. The real spiritual path is reclaiming the power of your dignity, which is a process I call clearing your name. So that when you introduce yourself to someone, it's not saying, "Hi, I'm so-and-so, the one my mother couldn't love, the one abandoned by my dad, the one who couldn't measure up to the people who didn't know how to love unconditionally." Your name is no longer the history of your pain. When you clear your name is a unique expression of spirit and form. And you say your name with pride. And you know that your name is a unique vibration of the universe being sounded into existence in the way it's never been heard or expressed before. Clear your name and do what the most enlightened beings aspire to do, which is to speak your name with no apology and no regret. That's the litmus test as to how deeply we have or need to be healed. Can you speak your name with no apologies or regrets? That's why life puts us into social settings with the divine masquerading as other characters. That's why everywhere you go, people go, "What's your name?" That's God testing. Still apologies, still regrets. Someone goes, "Oh, what's your name?" On the inside you go, "Oh God, oh God, oh God." And you might say your name, but vibrationally it might be, "Hi, I'm Matt. Everyone's disappointment. Hi. Please love me. Please love me. Don't leave me. Ever. Don't ever leave me. I'll never leave you. I swear to God, I'm not going to leave you. You don't leave me." Right? Have you ever met someone and just the sound of their name can transmit all that? Doesn't take an intuitive to know that. Sometimes you don't get that by the sound of the name. You know where you can always tell that? Shaking someone's hand. That's why we do that shit in society. "Hey, pleasure to meet you." Whoa, that's a strong grip. Don't leave me. Don't leave me, ever. Don't leave me, swear to God. Sounding your name into existence and introducing yourself to another with no apologies and no regrets. That is something that is done when our dignity has been reclaimed. And the way we do that, because dignity is the ability to be worthy of honor and respect, the way we do that is by waking up out of the belief that there's something you need to do to either be more honorable, or there's something you need to do personally, socially, career-wise, any level, in order to be respected. It is to be worthy of your own honor and respect, just as you are.